Hi, this is Jessica and I'm going to show you how to do a Sun Goddess inspired look. I'm going to go ahead and start off by priming my eyelids. I'm going to use Painterly, it's a MAC paint pot, and I'm going to just take my 217 brush and brush that primer all over my entire lid. Next, I'm going to take this little brush here and I'm going to use Nylon by MAC. It's a white shimmery shade, and I'm going to use that to highlight underneath my brow and in the corners of my eyes. Make sure to really get in the corners, in like a small V shape in the corners of your inner eye to really highlight that area. Next, I'm going to take my fluffy brush here and I'm going to use a Bobbi Brown palette. It's their Shimmer Brick palette and it's in bronze. And I'm going to use the darkest brown shade in that palette, and I'm going to dust that in a big V shape on the outer corner of my lid. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and take this short, stiffer brush, and I'm going to use Goldmine, another MAC shade. Can't you tell that I love MAC? And I'm going to go ahead and take that and I'm going to pack that onto the center of my lid to really open it up and add some shimmer. It's a really great gold shade. Then I'm going to take some pigments. I really love MAC's pigments. And this is Scatter Rays, their Pearlized Pigment Collection. I think it might be discontinued, but I'm not sure. And I'm going to go ahead and take just a little bit on my brush. A little goes a long way when you're working with pigments. And I'm going to tap that off a little bit and pack that on to the inner corner of my eye and bring it out about halfway across my lid. Next, I'm going to just buff it out a little bit using my big black fluffy brush. And going back to that flat, stiffer brush, I'm going to take Embark, a really dark brown shade, MAC color. And I'm going to put that on the outer corner of my lid, making a really small V shape, right? Going along the top lash line and into my crease in a small V shape. And of course, buff some more. Next, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows. I'm going to use a light brown shade from MAC. It's called Charcoal Brown. I'm using my bigger angled brush. I'm going to go ahead and shape and fill in my brows. And time for liner. I'm going to go ahead and use my smaller angled brush from MAC. And I'm going to use MAC's Black Track Fluid Line. And I'm going to go ahead and paint that on my upper lash line. And I decided goddesses should have a winged liner for some reason. So I went ahead and did a small wing. I made it shorter and fatter rather than long and skinny. Now for lining my waterline, I went ahead and used Makeup Forever's Aqua Eyes in black. And I put that just on the inside of my waterline there. Then I used the small brush that I had used previously for highlighting my brow in the corners of my eyes. And I'm going to take that same brush and use the dark brown that I had used before in my crease. I'm going to take that and I'm going to use it to kind of line the bottom of my lashes and to create a really good bronzy effect all around my eye. Then I took some of Stila's Tinted Moisturizer in the bronzish shade And I put a little bit on the back of my hand and I worked that onto the tops of my cheeks, the hollows of my cheeks, my temples, and a little bit across my forehead. I didn't apply it all over my face because I just wanted to use it to enhance my bronzer when I went ahead and applied that later. So I just took that and I rubbed it on my cheeks and a little bit in the hollows of my cheeks and then my temples and my forehead to just make sure I had a really bronzy glow. Then I took my Bare Minerals powder and my kabuki brush and I just went ahead and buffed that all over my face. Then for bronzer I took it's kind of like a kabuki brush but smaller and more compact, and I took that and I used MAC's Refined Golden shade of bronzer. It's a bronzer that has some shimmer to it, and I just applied that into the hollows of my cheeks, and I put it on pretty heavily because I wanted to have a really nice goddess glow, so I wore more than I normally would. I also applied that onto my cheeks because I want it to blend really well with my blush. Then I took a highlighting powder, and it's another one from MAC, and I used a small powder brush and I just worked that onto the very tops of my cheeks to highlight my face. And I also put a little bit on my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and a dash of it on my chin. Next, I went to blush. I used an Estee Lauder color, and it's their Blush All Day pack. I used the darker mocha shade, kind of a brown color, because I wanted it to work really well with all the bronze shades on my face. And I buffed that on my cheeks, making sure that it blended really well with my bronzer. Next, I curled my eyelashes real quick. Then I went and I moved on to some primer for my eyelashes. I used Prep and Prime from MAC. For those of you who haven't ever used a primer for your eyelashes before, it's really great because it has fibers that stick to your lashes and make them longer and thicker. It's like wearing a set of false lashes without all the hassle. While I was waiting for my primer on my eyelashes to dry, I went ahead and put on my lipstick. I used an Estee Lauder shade and it was number 11, Quite Nude. Then I took a little bit of Beauty Rush lip balm, and it's a totally clear balm, and I just dabbed it onto the very center of the top and my bottom lip. And putting a little bit of gloss right in the center of your lips like that can make them look a lot fuller. Then I went ahead and applied my mascara. I used False Lashes by MAC. When you do use a primer on your eyelashes, it does leave a white coating, so you have to make sure that you, when you're putting on your mascara, cover all of your lashes really well so none of the white from the primer shines through. And then I'm done with my Sun Goddess inspired tutorial. Hope you enjoyed watching it. Hopefully we'll have more for you soon. Thanks!